So guys, how are you? I hope well. I'm the Monio, your favorite interdimensional demon. Do you know the Living Tribunal? No. So let's get to some demonic information about him. Living Tribunal is a cosmic entity of Marvel, responsible for taking care of the balance not only of our universe, but of the entire multiverse. Among its functions are to prevent one universe from gaining more power than another, or that there is a very large imbalance between good and the bad. Living Tribunal is extremely powerful, and is virtually omnipotent. Even entities such as the Celestials are lower in the hierarchy of power, and was once able to effortlessly withdraw the powers of the Infinity Stones and then return them when deemed necessary. His power is incalculable, being able to destroy galaxies and even entire universes if necessary, but we rarely see him use the full extent of these powers unless there is a great need. An interesting thing is that, as already said, the Living Tribunal takes care of the entire multiverse, and unlike other beings that have their versions in each universe, there is only a single version of the Living Tribunal that is above all universes. He is considered the second most powerful entity in the entire multiverse, second only to one above all, who is the Supreme Entity, the representation of the Christian God in Marvel, and is the one who created the Living Tribunal to take care of the multiverse. The entity itself is not necessarily good or evil, it just fulfills its purpose of balancing the multiverse. Living Tribunal, although it has a cosmic level scope of action, acting and judging the entire multiverse, it also has some executors who speak out for less extreme issues and that don't need the focus of the Living Tribunal itself. These executors are called magistrati. The appearance of the Living Tribunal is that of a gigantic being, but its size can vary at will. It can be planetary or relatively small, but it always has an imposing appearance. Sometimes it is shown sitting in a chair and sometimes standing. It has a golden body, with a detail on its chest, which appears to be a source of power, but its main feature is having 3 heads that float over its body, with a kind of fabric on top, which partially covers them. One of the heads is always with a visible face. This face represents justice, and it is with this face that the tribunal usually talks. There is another face that is partially covered by the fabric. This one represents revenge, and there is also a face that is completely covered by the fabric. This one represents the need. And I know what you must be thinking, what is it like with the face that is always covered? As you will know now, as this face has already been shown in the comics for She-Hulk. As you can see, it's a woman's face. You can clearly see the female features, but we have a curious detail here, because when She-Hulk sees the face, she says it's her own face. Taking into account that this is the head that represents the need, it is quite possible that it really was the face of the She-Hulk at that moment, and that she would be the need. So it is not clear if this face is in fact female, or if it is always changing depending on the situation or the observer. This information was never given, and as this face is almost always covered, it is not possible to be sure, but I believe that it is constantly changing and there is no standard form for it. Another interesting thing about the Living Tribunal is that he is one of the few characters in Marvel that recognizes the existence of the DC Universe, as he acted in the crossover of the 2 publishers, teaming up with the character the Spectre from DC Comics and helping him to stop an enemy that threatened both universes. And if the Living Tribunal and the Spectre of DC faced off, who do you think would win? Leave it here in the comments, and if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel. Until next time my people, demonic hugs.